Hello viewers, Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel Learn English with Hamid. Today we do yet another grammar lesson, and that lesson is about subject. So we're going to discuss different aspects of subject in English. Let's get started. So I'm sure you know what a subject is, and when asked about subject, this is the definition that most students will give you. So the definition is the doer of an action. What is subject? So subject is defined as the doer of an action. For example, I ran fast. I ran fast. So what is the subject here? Here is the word I, because I does the action here. What is the subject here? The kite flew. So the kite is the subject here. So this is what the definition, the most common definition of a subject in English is. But let me tell you, this definition is not complete. We have something more about subject that we must know. For example, subject is about which we have some information as well. Most of the time, not most of the time, let's say in some cases, we have a sentence where the subject is not doing any action. So what about those sentences, for example, where the subject is doing no action? For example, if I say the cat is asleep. So here the cat is not doing any action according to this sentence. So even here the cat is the subject. Or the chair is broken, for example. So the chair is not doing any action. So then we have this definition. So the subject is something about which we have some information, for example. Or if, for example, I say the marker is blue, the marker is black. So the marker is the subject and we have some information about this marker and this marker. So this is another definition of subject. So subject is the doer of an action, and subject is something or someone about which we have some information in a sentence. Moving on, what possibilities do we have? Like which parts of speech and which words can be subject in English? So a very common is pronouns. So pronouns are subject, nouns, noun phrases, participle phrases, and two infinitives are some of the subjects we have in English. For example, they are in the library. So they is the pronoun. Pronouns are these I, we, you, he, she. These words are called pronouns. So they are in the library. They is the subject here, and it is a noun. A pronoun. What about a noun? So for a noun we have honey sweet. So honey is the subject here, not doing any action, but about which we have some information. We have a noun phrase as well as a subject. Noun phrase can be a subject. So the noun phrase here is the white ball is missing, for example. So the white ball is the subject. We may have a participle phrase as well as a subject. So participle phrases are these ed phrases or ing phrases. For example, the boys sitting there are my students. So the boys sitting there are the subjects. This part is the subject. We may have the to infinitive as well, where we have the to and the first or the present form of the verb. For example, to read novels is fun. So we have to read novels as the subject. Some more points about the subject in English. Subject comes first. Yes, for example, I have a marker. So I is the subject. It comes before the verb. So subject comes before the verb in English. But sometimes the subject may come after the verb. For example, we have this sentence here. Here comes the bus. So here the subject comes after the verb. So the subject here is the bus and it comes after the verb. In this sentence, sweet are the uses of adversity. So the uses of adversity is the subject and it comes after the verb. But these sentences are not very common, but possible though in English. Another point about subject that you must know is sometimes we have a dummy subject in English. A dummy subject. What's a dummy subject? Well, whenever we use a subject, for example, I have a marker. So this I have a meaning, of course. If I say, for example, this is a board, so or the board is white, for example, so the board has a meaning, of course. But a dummy subject has no meaning, but it's still used in a sentence to make that sentence grammatical. And we have a few dummy subjects in English. So, for example, dummy subject is this, it. It is cold, it is hot, for example. So it has no meaning here, but we still use it. It is hot, for example. So it is a dummy subject. There is, there are, there were, there have been. These are dummy subjects in English. They have no meaning, but we still use them to make a sentence grammatical. So there are two boys in the class, for example. So there are, so this is the dummy subject. No meaning, but we still use them. Okay, another point about subject is that in a sentence we may have more than one subject. For example, again, I have a marker, so in this sentence there is one subject. But there are sentences where we have more than one subject. For example, my friend and I went to the party. So here this is the subject and this is the subject. So we have two subjects in this sentence. Another sentence is she, you and I are agreed on this issue. So we have three subjects here, she, you and I. So there are these possibilities as well, but most common is one subject. Could be two, could be three, maybe could be four as well. And that's it what we have about subject. I hope you found the lesson interesting. So give me a like if you like this lesson. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel and come back for more videos. See you.